Let's give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, or Kakadash. Yahweh is the true name of our Almighty Heavenly Father, which is in Hebrew, and that's in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahawashai, and also the Holy Spirit, which is the Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. Honors to the brothers that's pushing this truth, risking their life and freedom to do so, and also honors to the hopeful elect. The 1/3 of our people who are the true Israelites, that's to turn it back to Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi during these final moments, so that He will have mercy on us in the time of judgment. Shalom, we'll be back with another lesson through the power of the Spirit, Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. One thing I want to mention first is that we in September. August flew by faster than July. And so much more prophecy has unfolded, through this past month of August. The droughts, the famine brewing up, floods everywhere, national emergencies being declared everywhere, either for the flood or for the drought or for those sicknesses. The white man is slowly rolling out his digital beast system, which is what we're about to go over in this lesson here. And 30 more days, we're going to be in October, then November, then December. What's going to happen in September? Prophecy is unfolding day by day, by the hour. So it's important we keep our eyes open. And it's a flood of new information, almost too much to report. I got a bunch of little stuff I'm going to show here. And the title of this lesson, Esau is stealing your biometrics to build up his new digital system. Again, Esau stealing your biometrics to build up his new digital system. We know Esau's a so-called white man, but now we about to get into these biometrics. But the first one here, I got a clip of Donald Trump, so we about to let him talk.
Complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. For years, Congress has required biometric entry-exit visa tracking systems, but it has never been completed. The politicians are all talk, no action, never happens, never happens. Hillary Clinton, all talk. Unfortunately, when there is action, it's always the wrong decision. Do you ever notice? In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system. Approximately half of new illegal immigrants came on temporary visas and then never, ever left. Why should they? Nobody's telling them to leave. Stay as long as you want. We'll take care.
All right, we're going to listen to this again, about the first 30 seconds.
Complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. For years, Congress has required biometric entry-exit visa tracking systems, but it has never been completed. The politicians are all talk, no action, never happens.
All right, the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system. Now, we got to understand biometrics. Now, let's read this. This is a simple Google search. Biometrics are body measurements and calculations related to human characteristics. Biometric authentication is used in computer science as a form of identification and access control. So, biometrics, measurements based on your physical characteristics, will be used as a form of identification. It is also used to identify individuals and groups that are under surveillance. We know now that surveillance is monitoring, tracking, and watching everything. So the part of this one world order, under this new digital system, everybody will be under surveillance. But now they're trying to start it with the immigrants. Well, if you want to enter into this country, because remember, biometric entry, exit, visa tracking system. So any illegal immigrants coming in or out of America, they will be identified by their biometrics. Let's get some examples of biometrics. Biometrics is the analysis of a unique biological and physiological characteristics with the aim of confirming a person's identity. So your biological, physiological characteristics will confirm who you are. The 5 most common types of biometric identifiers are fingerprints. So they've been using fingerprints to identify people. Facial recognition. That's why on the newer iPhones, you can look at your iPhone and unlock it. Well, how that works, the camera on your phone measures your facial structures, how far apart they are, how wide your nose is, how slanted your eyes are, where they are positioned on your face, your lips, and all of that. And that's how you unlock your phone. It reads your face and it measures everything. Your voice is some things that's voice activated, and it recognizes your voice. It analyzes it, the frequency, the hertz, and all the stuff dealing with sound. And also your iris. Your iris is the color part of your eye. Your iris is supposed to be unique to you, just like a fingerprint. But the iris is more unique than a fingerprint. Then the palm or finger vein patterns. So the blood vessels in your hand and in your fingers, they position and go through your body a certain way. Everybody's is a little different. So these are the 5 most common biometric identifiers, which is all going to be used in the white man's new digital beast system. But now we're going to look at this biometric entry-exit system. We're just going to read this first paragraph. The Department of Homeland Security is statutorily required to develop and implement an automated biometric, i.e., physical characteristics such as fingerprints, face, or irises, entry-exit system for foreign nationals, referred to as aliens in immigration law, traveling into and out of the United States. So yeah, they're going to start with the people who are not citizens first. That's them bringing it in through gradualism. They're going to slowly introduce it into every part of our life here in America. The goal of these systems are to strengthen national security and to help enforce immigration law without disrupting the flow of authorized travel and commerce. The biometric entry systems is aimed to be fully operationalized, whereas the biometric exit system is still being implemented. So yeah, they're gonna start with the immigrants, and they're gonna bring it in to all citizens. That's gonna be the RFID microchip. So that's them showing you that they getting away from paper ID cards, paper Visa cards. Some of that stuff can still be faked. It can be lost, but your fingerprint, your irises, the blood vessels in your hand and your fingers, that stuff can be faked. And this is just a little more going into the biometrics on the Department of Homeland Security's website. Biometrics are unique physical characteristics, such as fingerprints, that can be used for automated recognition. These are automated deals with technology. For example, instead of the people swiping a visa or showing a passport, they just look into a camera. The camera gonna scan their facial features or their irises, and that's gonna allow them access into America or out of America. And that's why it says it's automated, meaning nobody has to do anything. They don't have to look at your card, they don't have to swipe it, they don't have to verify it, because your visa, your passport, it'll all be stored electronically. And your electronic visa or passport or electronic ID will be linked to your iris, your facial features, fingerprints. So you just walk by a camera, look at it, it scans your biometrics, and it's automated. And then you can keep moving through. At the DHS, biometrics are used to detect and prevent illegal entry into the US. And this is going to be nationwide eventually. Right now, they're using it at the borders, but they're going to also bring this to the streets of America. It's going to be eventually, it's going to be high-tech cameras and scanners all throughout America, surveilling people. But with that being said, let's get back to this video of Trump.
Whatever happens, Hillary Clinton, all talk. Unfortunately, when there is action, it's always the wrong decision. Do you ever notice? In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system.
So he said, you're going to have a proper tracking system. It's going to be on land and in the sea and in the air. This tells you they got other concerns than just the immigrants. If it's just the immigrants, you just need it at the borders, which you need it in the land, in the sea, and in the air for. It should just be at the border. But that makes this picture makes more and more sense that I've been going into for about a year now. Because look, what did he say? He says it's going to be land, sea, and air. Like, for example, radio frequency identification. We know that's the mark of the beast, the RFID chip. Well, RFID stands for radio frequency identification. So each individual RFID chip has a unique radio frequency that it emits. And that frequency carries the information based on whatever it is. Then we can see here, entire neighborhoods, city blocks, federal buildings, houses, boats, phones, cars, and even people will have radio frequency identification chips, the mark of the beast. And the frequency that's emitted off those chips will be picked up off these 5G towers that we see right here. And based on your location from these 5G towers, that's one way they're going to track and surveillance everybody. And then not only that, they got satellites and GPS that will also hone in on your radio frequency identification chip and track you. And not only that, they're going to have high-tech street cameras, scanners that's going to be scanning people's eyes, that's going to be scanning people's barcodes. Because, yeah, people going to have barcodes here. Those people who took this medicine, there's a barcode if you put your camera there, the camera on your phone. So, yeah, these cameras and scanners going to be scanning people, taking pictures, tracking them. The RFID chip going to be giving off your location based on the 5G towers. These satellites is going to be tracking people. And what's another thing he said? It's going to be on the land. That's your cars and people. It's going to be in the air. So airplanes, jets, it ain't going to be no more private flights. Ain't nothing going to be private. The word private won't exist in America no more. And it's going to be in the sea. Your boats, jet skis, ships, everything going to have these RFID chips. That's why he says it's going to be a proper tracking system. Not just for immigrants, but for all people in America. America is going to turn to a police state, meaning that's going to be heavily policed. And then all that information, such as your biometrics, your identification, everything about you, is going to be stored in this central supercomputer of the government. And it's going to be 5G internet that brings all this stuff together. Because, believe it or not, 5G ain't all the way activated yet. When they turn this stuff on, internet going to be ultra fast. That's how they're going to be able to have all this infrastructure that process all this information. Paper forms of identification will no longer be needed. And this will be the image of the beast in Revelation 13 and 14. And let's read that. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of the miracles which he had power to do. So who has power to do miracles here on the earth? It will be the so-called white man. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And by the power of his technology can he do these miracles. Because the technology, it makes stuff seems like magic now, what you can do. You can just look into a camera and it scans you and recognizes who you are, which will allow you to have access to a certain place. Also, saying to them that dwell on the earth, to the so-called white people, they're the ones who develop in this system, that they should make an image to the beast. Now, this image that we see here, this is the image of the beast. This is the physical hardware, their physical infrastructure for their new digital system that they about to roll out. That they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life into the image of the beast. What do you mean when it says to give power to it? Or to give life to it? Like, for example, they're going to make this digital system go live. Like in the world of being an electrician. If you got a wire that has electricity flowing through it, they call it a live wire. So they're going to bring this digital system to life by giving electricity, which will give it power, which will activate everything. So when he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. How do you worship the image of this beast? You worship this digital system by becoming part of this digital system. That's why the houses, the phones, the cars, and even the people, by the white man putting their technology inside of you, you're going to become part of this digital system. You're going to become part of the infrastructure. Now, some more information I want to bring out. Biden, he just passed a $3 trillion human infrastructure bill. Now let's read some of this, which combined with the 1.2 trillion infrastructure investment and jobs act will invest roughly $3 trillion on upgrading and expanding the nation's physical infrastructure system and fund programs focused on education, healthcare, and environment. So yeah, part of the white man trying to go digital, he says that it will help the climate. Also, he says that the old infrastructure is declining, it's outdated, it's slowing down progress. For example, when you at the border and whatnot, they checking through your papers, that take time. But if everything digital and electronic, it'll speed up the process of everything here in America. So that's his rationale for bringing about this digital system. And again, and he had power to give life, to send electricity, to send power through his digital system, which is the image of the beast. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't become one with this digital system is going to get you killed. Because everybody that became one with this digital system, such as the phones, the cars, the people, they're going to be recognized by these 5G towers, thanks to their radio frequency identification chip. Oh, and then look, it says fingerprint identification. So a lot of things that we commonly touch is going to be reading your fingerprints, which I got some information on that we're going to show soon. So all this stuff, it will recognize everybody that's a part of this system. But the people who are avoiding it, these 5G towers, the fingerprint identification, these high-tech cameras and scanners and satellites, it's going to give up your location. It's going to identify you as not being part of the system. Meaning when it hone in on you, it's going to say unregistered, not identified. And that's going to send the authorities after you. The white man, his military, his technology, his robotics is going to get you put down. And again, that's this human infrastructure bill to boost the electrical capacity, the digital capacity of America.
One more message for you, Army, before I go into work. I know many of you are aware that there is a bill that is going to be effective December 11th. This bill that President Biden signed back in March is the bill that's going to introduce digital currency.
So we got that. So, that they bring it forward December 11th, December 13th. We got information on that. Now, I showed this video a while back. The ministry was pushing this video out pretty hard when it surfaced. So let's read it. Ultimate Doom, December 13th, now called Seed Day, Biden Bucks, Central Bank Digital Currency. So yeah, they're going to roll out a new digital currency. Look up this Executive Order 14067. Buried in the new government spending bill is Executive Order 14067, Bitcoin's evil cousin. James Richards and Robert called this evil move to eliminate our U.S. currency and replace it with Biden bucks. So yeah, that's going to be our new form of money. It's going to be called Biden bucks. It ain't going to be no more U.S. dollar. It ain't going to be no more cash. It ain't going to be no more debit or credit. He also exposed that the supposed singular event called Seed Day, December 13th, will disrupt the traditional financial systems in the U.S. In other words, the economy gonna collapse. Because right now, everything operates off the dollar, whether it's a physical dollar, debit, or credit. Well, they're bringing in this new digital currency system. The dollar is no longer going to work. And if we go down a little bit, a couple things they mentioned, any cash you now have saved outside of the banking system is invalid and will no longer be of any value when the process is complete. So money outside of the banking systems is not going to work. Any digital currency you have in the bank may be turned off by the government at any time for not obeying. So they'll be able to turn off your money anytime. Kind of like when the IRS after you. They can freeze your account. Well, they can just turn off your chip. No Biden bucks, no food, no rent, no mortgage, no cars. Everything will be denied. So like when you swipe your debit card, it might say insufficient funds. It might say wrong PIN. It's going to straight up say denied. There's going to be nothing you can do. But this digital currency, these Biden bucks, how is it going to work? And we're going to let this woman continue to speak.
Digital currency means you're not going to pull your credit card out. You're not going to take your cash out. It's going to be electronically in effect. So how else are you going to do this? Unless something be implanted in you.
So yeah, because you got to listen to what she's saying. A digital currency. Because what? You're not going to pull out your wallet. You're not going to pull out your debit card. You're not going to pull out your credit card. You're not going to pull out your phone and pay with your phone. No, because what's the argument there? Well, people lose their phones all the time. So if you lose your phone, you lose your digital currency. No. To carry a digital currency, you're going to have a digital device. And that digital device is the RFID microchip. And that's this right here. This is going to carry your digital currency, your Biden bucks. That's going to be rolled out, sometime in December. They're going to inject this into all of the people. And then boom, now you're ready to pay with your digital currency. So that's what that is. And another picture that I want to show is this here. A screenshot that I took from a news clipping. That same RFID chip look like a grain of rice. It's going to be your ID, your car and house keys, and it's going to be your wallet. And let's go back to this image of the beast. That's the same RFID chip that's going to plug you to the grid. So that RFID chip is going to be your digital wallet for the Biden bucks. It's going to track you with the 5G towers, and it's going to be an identifier. Because again, radio frequency identification. Each chip is going to carry a unique set of information identifying individuals and other things. Now let's let this woman finish.
When you go to a store or you go to the doctor's office or you go anywhere, you will wave your hand across a light beam or whatever. This is how they're going to do it. They've been putting this in front of our faces for years. Years. You go to the restrooms for the longest time. You take your hand, you push it past, and then the paper towels come up.
So yeah, like she said, a lot of stuff you wave your hand, you get access to paper towels. You get access to wash your hands. Some of them is motion sensitive, or the hand air dryer. But what she say, when you go to a store to pay, you're gonna wave your hand. Now this video here, I got some takeout about a month or two ago, and you see what this says, Wave ID. And we're gonna let this play a little bit.
I'm at this restaurant.
See, Wave ID, RFID, radio frequency identification. Radio frequency identification, RFID. So what she was talking about is that digital device, which is the RFID chip, the mark of the beast. You're going to get that in your hand, and then instead of you paying with your cash or your debit or credit or paying by your phone, you're just going to swipe your hand across this RFID reader or whatever. And that's why here, the chip's going to be inserted into the hand. That's why it has a money sign there. That's how you're going to pay. And you're going to start seeing these more and more. Right now, they got debit cards that have RFID chips on it where you can just wave your debit card. But eventually, you're going to just be waving your hand.
Let's see what I see. RFID chip. Y'all see it.
So yeah, that's how we're going to be paying. Now I got another video that my cousin just posted. And y'all subscribe to him, Yasha Allah 144. He just posted this one right here.
What in the mark of the beast is this shit? What in the mark of the beast is this shit? What in the mark of the beast is this shit? What in the mark of the beast is this shit?
See, pay with your palm. It's reading his palm. That's Esau stealing your biometrics. And now something I want to mention that I forgot at the beginning of the video. Your biometrics, such as your fingerprint, your voice, your facial structures, your iris, your pattern of blood vessels in your body, that's unique to you. That's sensitive and personal information. Your fingerprint, your iris, your voice is like your own password. And just like people can't steal your password because that's identity theft, Esau is committing identity theft. Y'all unlocking y'all phones with y'all thumbprint, unlocking your phones by looking at it, playing with them Snapchat filters, putting that crazy mess all over your face. Esau keeping all that data, and he's going to make it part of his new digital system. He's storing all that data on us, so he already know who most of us are by our voice, fingerprint, facial structures, our voice. He already can identify most of us, as we about to see in a little bit. But that's actually the ultimate act of theft, because he's stealing all of our identifiers that makes us who we are, that was given to us by YAHAWASHI. But he's using that to identify us and to track and to monitor all of us. But we're going to let this sister speak some more.
This is how the enemy works. The enemy will bring things to you slick and sly and very non-intimidating that you don't even realize that they are conditioning you. They are conditioning you to accept when everything really rolls out.
Yeah, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to get you used to using your biometrics to gain access to certain things. Because eventually, that's going to lead to you getting an RFID chip. This is the precursor to that. Now, another video I want to show of them stealing people biometrics. Check this video out. We're going to let it play, and then she's going to explain it, and then I'm going to add my few cents to it.
We in Montreal, and they got this new thing just in the middle of the, you feel me? Like, I don't know how to explain it. What is this thing? This in Montreal, downtown. Me and my dog wondering, like, what is this?
See, it's shaped like a pyramid, got the eye, just like on the back of your dollar.
Look at this, man. It's the pyramid with the eye on it.
The pyramid was scanning people's faces and telling them information about themselves and their body.
Look at it, bro. I analyze one face at a time. It's creepy, dog. So, but you gotta see what it's saying to her. But peek, though.
They were scanning palms and fingerprints on the backside.
They want you to put your whole hand on it and get your fingerprints in their stuff.
Part to a Black Mirror pyramid in Montreal.
I ain't putting my hand on that.
Trying to take your age and all that,
Bruh.
Look, it got her by 1 year though.
It guessed her age and was off by only 1 year. And it was making a weird sonar-type noise.
Hey, it was bad.
The Xbox trying at the top though.
TF they doing under there?
Right now.
Squid Game vibes.
I ain't messing with that. Y'all already know what this is, dog. Listen to the noise it's making.
And that's going to be part of the image of the beast. That's an example of those high-tech scanners and cameras that's going to be out and about in the public that we can add to this right here. That's going to be a means of tracking and monitoring people. Now that thing, when they roll them all out, going to be way more high-tech. They're going to be scanning people's eyes, scanning barcodes in people's arms that took this medicine right here. It's going to be scanning people's facial biometrics, their irises, different things you touch. It's going to read the blood vessels in your palm and get your fingerprints. But let's continue this. All right, now we're going to let this woman talk some more.
Used to work for a hospital, 9 years. About 2 years into my employment, they started bringing out the palm passes. You put your palm over the electronic device. The palm is reading your blood vessels. Everyone has their own way that their blood vessels move through their palm. You place it over there, and boom, all your medical history comes up. They are slick and sly and sneaky as serpents. So they brought it out to you.
So yeah, going back to this video here, let's let it play some more.
It's the pyramid with the eye on it.
The pyramid was scanning people's faces and telling them information about themselves and their body.
Look at it, bro.
So yeah, it was scanning people's faces, your facial structures. That's one biometric identifier. And how was it telling people information about themselves? Because this camera is already loaded with tons of our information, our age, weight, medical history, name. It already got that stuff in it. So all they had to do was read our faces, and then, oh, I can tell you everything about you based on your face. That's why everywhere we go, we got to fill out an application. Medical history. That's the government stealing our information and pairing it with our biometrics. And then based on that, it was telling people about their body, how tall they are, how much they weigh, how old they are. And it was pretty accurate. But that's because this thing already has this information in it. Because part of this image of the beast, it got the data portion over here, and that's going to store all our information. See, analyze one face at a time. And look, our people so dumbed down, they think it's a game. They think this is a toy. And what did we just read in Revelation 13 and 15? That the image of the beast should both speak. Oh, then this thing speak? It's telling people, it read one face at a time. It's speaking to them, giving them instructions, telling them what to do. That's the white man giving life to the image of the beast, bringing life to this digital system. Because all this stuff is also going to have artificial intelligence. It's going to be able to speak to you. That's what's going on. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. How this brother is avoiding this thing, eventually this thing will identify him as a target and as a threat, as being unregistered, not recognized, not in the system, and that's going to send a white man in his military after him.
It's creepy, dog. So, no, but you gotta see what it's saying to her. But peep, though.
They were scanning palms and fingerprints on the backside.
It's scanning palms and fingerprints. So that's the palm and the blood vessels in your palm and the fingerprints. And they want people to come play with this stuff just to steal their information, to verify everything, to make sure what they got in the system matches up what they got on storage. So, and the people that's not in the system, they're going to go to it, give it their information, and start playing with it like it's a toy. So again, this Esau stealing your biometrics to build up his data for his digital system that he about to roll out.
They want you to put your whole hand on it and get your fingerprints in their stuff.
Part to a Black Mirror pyramid in Montreal.
I ain't putting my hand on that.
Trying to tell you your age and all that, bro.
Bruh.
Look, they got her about 1 year though.
So
It guessed her age and was off by only 1 year.
So it guessed her age. And 1 year, not a big difference. Maybe she just had a birthday pass, so she 1 year older.
And it was making a weird sonar-type noise.
And why is it making that noise? Like it's a horror movie. Because America is a horror movie. Esau is every killer in all these horror movies that we watch. But we're going to now get back to what this woman is saying over here.
Through their palm. You place it over there, and boom, all your medical history comes up. They are slick and sly and sneaky as serpents.
She said they sly, slick, and sneaky as serpents. And that's also in the scriptures. So we're going to come to Genesis 3:1. Now before the serpent, who is Satan, deceives Eve to eating from the tree that the Lord told him not to eat from, let's read what the Lord said about the serpent. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord YAHAWASHI had made. Let's look up this word subtle. You see, you got subtle right here. This is going into the Hebrew. It means subtle, shrewd, crafty, that's sneaky, sly. That's what this woman said. They sly, sneaky.
Your medical history comes up. They are slick and sly and sneaky as serpents.
As serpents. Who built all this stuff? Who put that pyramid there? Who building up this image of the beast? It's a so-called white man. He's the same serpent in the book of Genesis. So let's read this again. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh had made. Now this serpent wasn't literally a snake. Google the definition of a serpent. It goes back to a treacherous person. So the white man being a serpent, he's the most treacherous person. He put something out there like as a toy for people to play with. And it's going to be the same toy that start getting people killed if they don't become part of Esau's digital system. Now let's get verse 5. What did that person say to Eve? For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband. So the serpent said some slick stuff to get Eve to eat of the tree. That's what Esau doing. He's saying some slick stuff to get you part of this digital system. What Trump say? It's going to be on land, water, and air. We're going to track all immigrants. So yeah, the so-called white man is the devil. Because also what did the serpent do? He told the woman, your eyes should be open. You should be as gods, knowing good and evil. So it made the fruit look appetizing to the woman. Esau will tell you some stuff that's pleasing to your ears to make you want to try it out. He gonna make it seem like he helping you, but he really trying to hurt you. That's Ecclesiastes 12 and 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. So if you faced with the situation of being forced to get this RFID chip in your nearest hospital, who gonna be there? It's gonna be the white man there. Cause yeah, if thou shalt be in adversity, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee. So he's pretending to help you just to destroy you. That's what the serpent did to Adam and Eve. He was pretending to help the woman to destroy her. And then after that, she gave it to Adam, and he ate. And it made them fall from grace with the Most High. And that's the white man. He's the same serpent. The white man got the spirit of the serpent in the Garden of Eden. We living through the days of the Garden of Eden right now. The Lord telling us not to get the mark of the beast, this RFID chip, that's the equivalent of the Lord telling us don't eat of that forbidden tree. It's the same thing. It's one decision that's going to come with heavy consequences. Now let's let this woman finish.
So they brought it out to you in the hospital system years ago. Years ago. I can't think of any other places, and I know there's many more, but when digital comes out, believe that something's got to go in here, and it talks about up here. So this is what's happening. I did a video and told you no one knows the day nor the hour, but the Father said, watch what your enemy is doing. That's when you'll know how soon we are, or where time is. He says, I tell you to watch for signs and seasons. So if the enemy is going to bring this out, guess what's going to happen? Because I'm not putting nothing in my system. Period, point blank. So know that
yep, we know what season we in. We at the end. We in the time of judgment. Now some more information I want to bring out with these microchips. Esau putting it all on the table for us. Let's look at this last web page I got. World Health Forum. Solid, rational reasons to implant microchips in kids. Yeah, so they're trying to justify putting microchips in your children. That's all children. Babies, infants. They saying that it could help identify food allergies and illnesses. But that's what it says could. They don't plan to use it for that reason. They telling you that it could do that. But long story short, they want to put this stuff in your children. Posing the question, would you walk around with a microchip in your head? We already know they want to put it in the hand, so where the head come from? Esau, the white man, is laying it all out there. Phillips argued chips are no different than wearing hearing aids or pulse monitors or smart goggles, wristbands, and the like. Let's go down a little more. Posing another hypothetical question, she asked, should you implant a tracking chip in your child? There are solid, rational reasons for it, like safety. What did the scripture say? Though he pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee. So Esau not trying to help you by putting his technology in you. He just want to surveil everything you do. He's going to track and spy on you, do all kind of stuff. And most people who get these chips, if the white man did have his way, he going to come kill you anyway because now he can track you. He's trying to identify all the Israelites that's on the planet so he can find us at any time and exterminate us. And also, this is going to be digital slavery. You have to do everything that they say. There's no hiding it. But again, would you want to walk around with a chip in your head? Let's go to the scriptures. Revelation 13-16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, a chip, a microchip in their right hand, a chip in your right hand, or in their foreheads. Would you want to walk around with a chip in your head? So the white man is going to cause all people, they're trying to make it start with the immigrants by biometrics, but you see, they now bring a biometrics to the citizens. They're going to start with the RFID chip. December 13th, C-Day, they just read about, they might just roll it all out at once. So he caused all to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Last scripture we're going to get, 2 Kings 18-21. Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff. And this word represents support. And what would be the support? It would be here in America. We trust in the white man's support of this bruised reed. That's this broken, oppressive system. So we trust in the white man's system that's broken and falling apart, even upon Egypt. How do we know that America is Egypt? And what did you see people doing? They was trusting in that red pyramid. That's them trusting in this bruised reed, this broken system. Esau bringing his new digital system because his current system is falling apart, even upon Egypt. America is the new spiritual Egypt. Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, which is America, that you trusting in a system wherever they go, on which if a man lean, if you lean on America's system too hard, if you lean on a money system, the infrastructure system, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all that trust on him. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, that's Biden. That's why he's bringing out the Biden bucks. So if you trust in Egypt, which is America, if you trust in Pharaoh, you trusting in a money system, you leaning on the system too hard, it's going to go in your hand, because when you lean something, that's your support. This money is most of our people's support. So they leaning on the money too hard, it's going to go in your hand and pierce it. Meaning that eventually the system is going to fall. And since you're leaning on the system too hard, you're going to fall when the system falls. And then they're going to come with a solution. That's going to be the RFID chip, where which if a man lean, it go into his hand and pierce it. So when the system fall, you're going to fall with it. They're going to bring a solution, the digital dollar, the Biden bucks, and everybody that's leaning on America's money system too hard, they're going to go right ahead and they're going to get their hand pierced. And everybody else that trusts in Pharaoh, king of Egypt, they're going to get pierced with this RFID chip. And that's why Isaiah 30:3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. What's the strength of Pharaoh? It's the dollar. That's why they say the dollar is a stronger currency. They speak of the dollar as having a certain level of strength. And it's a very strong currency. That's what gives America her buying power, her economic influence, her political dominance is by the US dollar. That's why everybody comes to America to work and they send their money that they got from the US back home. So therefore, should the strength of Pharaoh be your shame? Why is the strength of Pharaoh going to be your shame? On which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. Because you trusting in the strength of Pharaoh, which is the money, is going to be your shame. It's going to cause you to get your hand pierced. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all that trust on him. So everybody that trusts in Pharaoh, which is the president, the government, everybody that trusts in America and her money, they're going to get their hand pierced in mass number. And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion, that's the government. That's why they got a term called shadow government. So your trust in the strength of Pharaoh and the government is going to be to your shame and confusion. Because everybody now who actually pay attention to everything the government says, they're super confused. They don't know what the hell going on. And why you trusting in Pharaoh, getting your hand pierced, why is that going to be your shame? That's Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead. Did we just read that? Let's go back to the web page. Would you walk around with a chip, a microchip in your head? So everybody that worship the beast and his image, you follow everything Esau say. You bow down to him. You become part of his new digital structure by allowing Esau to put his technology in you, stealing your biometrics. You become a part of the system. That's worshiping the image of the beast and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So, you letting Esau put his technology inside of you, the Lord is going to punish you by burning you with nuclear fire. And what's the white man's technology? Again, the RFID chip, the MOTB, and also this medicine right here. Because people who got this medicine, they hook up to the Wi-Fi. They can plug different things up to the injection site. And also, they got barcodes that can be picked up by cameras. And this is a liquid technology. And again, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So Esau is rolling out his digital system. He gonna be a slick, sly, subtle devil like the serpent in the garden. He's gonna be a snake and sneak it right under your nose. And anybody who trusts in Pharaoh, who trusts in Egypt, is gonna be to your shame. Because your hand is gonna get pierced, then you're gonna get burnt by the nuclear missiles. Hey, that's a lesson here. We just wanted to show Esau is on the move. He's taking bigger and bigger steps each day. So what's going to happen through the next 30 days, through the month of September? Keep your eyes open. Until next time, Shalom.